you left one show to do another show. So what was the show that you left?
It was a show called Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Yeah, okay.
And had the great honor of being in a show called Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I was down there at the Public and started that ball rolling. I'm very, very happy to say. And then was lucky enough to jump ship and come do and be an egghead.
You know what? I saw you when you had just said, I'm leaving Hamilton, and I was thinking in my head, like, Pete Best from the Beatles. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I stole your line. Oh, I'm so sorry. Or my friend Craig Bierko, who passed on playing Chandler. But then I saw Something Rotten. And how much more fun is it to create a brand new musical as opposed to, whatever that word is. Okay.
Well, they're both. I mean, it is a thrill. It is certainly there are different responsibilities with the two things, and doing Something Rotten was. I always knew when I was doing the workshop. We created this show in about 4 weeks for a workshop lab, and at the end of it, we all kind of looked at each other and thought, "This is really kind of astounding. It's absurd. It's hilarious. It's got tons of heart." And the people that were in the room. These gentlemen included and everybody else were kind of perfect. And I think that's what prompted Kevin McCollum, our producer, to kind of roll the dice and move it up and have a Broadway run sooner than anyone expected. So for me, that was the...
Yeah, you guys didn't even test it out of town. They were like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the real deal.
Which is, again, a testament to everyone's belief and hope in the material.
The writing of this show is 90% of it.
Right.
And one of the great joys as an actor is when you're given material that's frankly so funny that you don't have to do anything. Like when we find ourselves out there and you don't have to spin a line because the line itself is so good. That's why I love doing the show, and that's why it's so easy to maintain the show, because you're not like pushing this boulder up a hill of like, oh, I gotta make this material work.
John, you're a famous playwright playing a famous playwright. And you must take like estrogen or something, because you look 12. What is the deal with that? I didn't mean estrogen, I meant something else. Whatever.
Whatever works.
Whatever it is, I'd like some. And how much fun did
estrogen?
No, I don't know. What is it? It's like live goat placenta, something that makes you look very young. I don't know.
That's what I take.
It is. It's that. I know you
live
people from
goat
Maine.
placenta.
Can you give me, if we were on like a 1-minute story of your life? Can you give me like? I know you're from Maine.
I grew up in northern Maine, and we didn't have anything except school and church and sports and band and plays, and so I did all of those things. And
What'd you play in band?
the clarinet.
The drum clarinet.
But I played drums in marching band. I played drums in marching band.
The soothing tones of the drum
That was
clarinet.
kind of cool. And then I just liked plays, and when I was a senior in college, I did a play and decided I really liked that, and then sort of decided to try it, and did an internship at a theater in Massachusetts, and then moved to New York, and now here we are.
Christian,
I'm sorry.
I have a question. Where do you keep your Tonys?
On a mantle.
On a mantle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I walk in and I like to look at them.
Of course. Of course you do. I would have them made into earrings. Oh, these? I didn't even remember I had them on. John, do you have a dream role that you haven't played yet?
Honestly, this is my favorite role I've ever played. I mean, it's just so fun to make and play. I don't know if it'll get better.
It is. It is. Okay, I have a question.
Is that a bad answer? You know what? I do want to play Iago. I want to play Iago in Othello.
You do?
Yeah, because you'd never think I'd be bad, and that's the whole point of that play. So.
Iago, you're not really naturally evil.
No, but that's the point.
That's where the estrogen comes in.
Okay.
It's in there. Go back to the text. I've never read it, but go back to the text.
Estrogen and Iago, aren't those the characters from Waiting for Godot?
I think it was like Godot now.
Have you sung for the president, anybody?
I have, actually.
Yes, how have you?
Yes, anybody.
And how was that?
You did as well, I believe.
I had the pleasure of meeting Michelle Obama about a month ago, which was amazing. But talk about the president.
Okay, go in order.
my story involves Michelle Obama, who I was so focused on meeting the president that when I met Michelle Obama, I was so blown away just by.
She's so beautiful.
She's just gorgeous, and she's just so present, and just really like an amazing figure and of a person. And, but I was so focused on him that when I met her, I said, "Nice to meet you, Mrs. Obama." I called her Mrs. Obama. I got my M's and my N's confused.
Was it instantaneous that you realized you'd done that, or
Oh
like
yeah,
later?
it was
you're
actually
like,
before I said it. I was like, I'm gonna say Obama, and I can't stop myself.
And then you had to like, oh my God.
It was awful.
And did you? Go,
She's
sorry.
probably used to like just the
Yeah.
most bizarre things coming out of people's mouths, but she was great. It was a pleasure.
But that's not the only president you've met, is it, Brian?
I met Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
True story.
I did meet President Clinton and sang for him at the Kennedy Center Honors. And so I've they've got a wing for me at the White House.
I know.
Yeah.
There is something about meeting a president that you are so sort of like uber starstruck that you Obama. That's not bad. I got to perform for Mr. Clinton, President Clinton, just stand up, and he good. No one even got it. Fine. And he said, whatever. You are such sweet Broadway innocents, aren't you? Ta-da! That help? And then he said, Carol, I performed for him, and then he came up to me and said, Caroline, you have the hardest job in the world. And I said, Mr. President, I think your job is slightly harder, but. And then I said the worst, like when the word I said, but we're both afraid of bombing. And then I was like, oh God, it was horrendous. All right, so John, this is your favorite role that you've had.
Yeah.
Now, how does this compare to your crazy television roles? What? I mean, yeah, I know. Have you all been on Law and Order? Have you been on Law and Order?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, not so recently.
Okay. I'm the only member of Equity. I've never been on Law and Order, and I hate them. Okay, and it's not like it's on 24 hours a day on every single channel. So, John, when do you decide as an actor, I love this show, I've been doing it for a year, like, when do you decide, okay, I'm going to leave this show and go on?
That's a hard question. We're in the middle of finding out that we're gonna be invited to extend.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
And now we know that too. Extend.
So.
Extend.
I don't know how much I can say, but I know that many of us are going to stay on for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to stay on for a while.
Yeah. That whole thing sounded really dirty. Anyway, Christian. Extend. Stay on for a while. Anyway, Christian.
I don't think
what
it
about
did.
you?
Well, I don't think it.
No, nothing. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it there. I want to stick around there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a happy place to work.
It just looks like you're all having so much fun.
We have to be careful sometimes.
I swear I heard you say the F-bomb on one of those shows.
No.
Did you not? What is that? Not
You
you,
didn't.
John. No.
Me?
No. But what's
I come
the word?
close.
Yeah,
close.
you come close.
He takes the pages out of my hand and runs out the door, and I do say, fuck, but I never get to the K.
Oh. All right. Does anyone have one question? One. Okay. You are adorable. Do you love them all? How many times have you seen the show? I'm like, okay. All right. What's your name? Haley. How old are you? Okay, me too. And go on.
I have a very distinct one. I saw M. Butterfly when I was in high school, and I was visiting New York. It was a matinee performance, and my sister said, let's go to the stage door and see if any of the actors come out. And so we did, and I was watching this. At this point, I was kind of interested in acting, and I was doing it as a hobby, and I'd just seen this incredible show. And B.D. Wong walks out of the great B.D. Wong walks out of the stage door, signs some autographs, puts his backpack on and his baseball hat, and I watch him walk down the road and just kind of disappear into Times Square. And I thought, it blew my mind because I was able to reconcile the person with the amazing thing that just happened within those four walls of the theater. It was such a mind-blowing experience to realize These are people who are professional actors who have to go eat soup or whatever after their show, and
Right.
they have to walk to get there. They don't magically appear in other places. They just are people. And it was actually a really kind of a wonderful moment for me to realize, oh yeah, maybe I could do this too, because I just never ever will forget that.
It's the only job that I can think of where at the end of a work day you have people waiting to say sweet and amazing things to you. I can't imagine. It's very special.
Yeah. Had you been an accountant, that would not have happened at all. Anyway, John?
Mine happened not too long ago. I was leaving the theater, and this man yelled from a cab, and he said, "John, John!" And I ran over to the cab, and I didn't know who it was. And he said, "I want you to know that that was a beautiful show and a beautiful performance, and please tell Brian, because I didn't get a chance to see him, that it was really, really astonishing and funny, and I'm just so impressed." And then he just rolled up his window and left, and I turned around, and someone on the street said, "You look confused." I said, I am, I don't. He said, "Do you know who that was?" And I said, "No." He said, "That was Nathan Lane." But he had his hat on, and he had his hat on and his scarf. You couldn't tell.
Oh,
This
my
is
God.
the first time I'm hearing of this, by the way.
I told you. Didn't I tell you? Oh, I thought I told you.
That is-
Yeah.
Thank you, BroadwayCon. You've done your job.
You have done your job.